Once again, I always seem to have this problem where I think of all the stuff to talk about, but then I actually start playing and I have to start talking about it and it all gets clogged up at the door. So these first two levels you could have done kind of in either order, and the cutscenes you got would have been the same. Like, I did this one first, and we had the Baldy McNoser cutscene and all that, and I did this one second, and we had the mind control cutscene and all that. But I could have done it the other way around. I could have done this one first, and we'd have gotten the Baldy McNoser cutscene during this. I could have done this one second, and we could have gotten the mind control cutscene during this one. These other three are all independent. You can still do them in any order, but the story that you get from doing these levels is the same every time. And if you want to be an asshole, you can really fuck up the story of these levels by doing them in a certain order and making it seem really goofy. I'm not going to do that. I'm going to try and do it in a regular order. It still cracks me up that his plan this time around was, I still really want to make it a music park, but making Eggman Land didn't work out last time. Ah, fuck it. Eggman's plans kind of go in sequences and waves. Yeah, I guess if you're gonna have a water planet filled with fish, I guess the thought of, hey, fish, sushi restaurant, Japan, let's have a really racist Japan level with the water level, right? That makes sense. Running around and following the advice of ancient manuscripts, resurrecting old society monsters from an ancient time didn't work out. Tracking down biological weapons developed by my grandpa didn't work out. Ah, fuck it. Let's the hell with that. I'm just gonna do my own thing from now on. Again. What was one of the other plans I tried one time? Didn't I try and do like what was that plan I had with Little Planet? Where I took a tiny planet and tried to do some shit with it. I don't even remember what happened there. Ah, fuck it, let's try doing that again. Let's just grab a bunch of tiny planets and try and do some evil science with them, I guess. Ah, I'm sure it'll work itself out. Oh, come on. There we go. I do like that, though. Like, he stopped relying on, like, ancient mysticism style plans, and he's just sticking to regular technology now.
You can push that box around. Hit the boost button while pushing something to kick in.
That's kind of funny how, like, after Shadow the Hedgehog established there are aliens in the Sonic universe. I've said this before, but, like, once you open the idea.
Even you can't breathe underwater.
Oh, especially Sonic can't breathe underwater.
But bubbles like that are a way to grab some air while you're down there.
Has never really been a thing the games have explored, has it? Once again, I always think of,
If you boost, you can run across the water without falling in.
That's in Sonic and the Olympic Games, if you do a water event with Sonic, he wears a little life vest, because he can't swim. He's just a whittle. There we go. What was I just saying? Once you open, like, you can't close that box. So once you open you can't put that genie back in the bottle. After you establish, hey, there are aliens in the Sonic universe, which they did with Shadow the Hedgehog and the Black Arms aliens, you can't really close that back up. And once you introduce the idea of there being aliens, that kind of opens up a lot of issues with your setting. So you can do two things. You can either try and ignore it or embrace it. And they definitely embraced it. They went, oh, hey, aren't there aliens in Sonic? Yeah. Okay, fuck it. Let's just, let's have the, like, Eggman's going around and trying to enslave these fucking aliens. That makes a weird kind of sense, doesn't it? That's kind of appropriate, where Eggman was dealing with the Black Arms aliens, and he was like, fuck these guys. So you might get the impression that he kind of went like, Oh, fuck you, aliens! I'm gonna enslave your shit now! Who's taking over the planet now, assholes, right? When it comes to using the aliens for evil schemes. That just kind of cracks me up, because it reminds me of that Shadow the Hedgehog thing. Come on. So close. There we go. So I'm doing this one first, because there we go. Because it's sort of a filler planet, like nothing really critical to the story happens on the planet. Not that this game has a super critical story or anything, like I said. They really kinda went Saturday morning cartoon with this one, which again, I think is fair and appropriate for Sonic. He's a fucking talking animal kids video game mascot character on a Nintendo console game. So, fucking cry harder. And regardless. And it gives me, like, free time to talk about the thing. I mentioned how I don't think Tails can keep up with Sonic anymore. And that's because Sonic, at this point in the series, his power level has continuously improved from game to game. And that's, see, look, got a little caution sign on the bottom saying, hey, look out, bottomless pit. You have no one but yourself to blame. That's one of the things I've always liked about the Sonic games, and it's sort of a subtle thing that you wouldn't notice unless you're paying attention to it, is Sonic gets stronger and improves in terms of his power and abilities with every subsequent game. Like, the fact that he can use the boost now, the fact that he has this ability to run super fast and just crash into motherfuckers and kill them by running into them with his boost ability, isn't just a gameplay feature. It's not like that's just a gameplay thing and it's completely separate from the narrative. I wanted them to fall off screen, that would have been funny. No! Damn it. Oh well. Like, if you wanna, like, that's why I never get the S ranks in this game. Because if you want to get the S ranks in these levels, you really kind of have, like, every level is sort of almost like a tiny puzzle that you have to use the wisps in order to navigate the environment. Which again, that's why these levels are so short, because they all have, like, kind of an interesting little puzzle navigation gimmick to them, where the challenge comes from the arcadey desire to get the high score with every single level. And again, appropriate considering Sega used to make arcade games, so they're really bringing that philosophy into this game. Sonic's power level improves with every single game. The fact that he can boost now, and the fact that he couldn't do that before, is kind of acknowledged. Not like in your face acknowledged, but it is in play. You know, it's not something you're not supposed to think about. Like I mentioned in Sonic Heroes, look at those stretches! Like I mentioned in Sonic Heroes, it felt like Amy was as strong in that game as Sonic was in the original Genesis Sonic the Hedgehog game. And since the original Sonic the Hedgehog Genesis game, Sonic has grown stronger and has abilities now that he couldn't do at the time. And it started out first with the homing. For one thing, he gets faster with every single game. For another thing, with Sonic Adventure, he got the homing attack, which he couldn't do before. He couldn't do the homing attack. Yeah! In the Genesis games, he learned how to do that, and being able to do it made him more powerful. And so at this point in the franchise, here in Sonic Colors, Sonic, as you currently see him, flipping, double jumping, couldn't double jump before, double jumping around, is stronger right now as just regular Sonic than Super Sonic was at the end of Sonic Adventure. And that's not, like, abundantly clear, not something I can prove at this juncture, but I'm telling you, the Sonic you're seeing right now is just as, if not more powerful by himself right now than Super Sonic at the end of Sonic Adventure was. This, like, in Sonic Adventure, Sonic needed Super Sonic in order to fight Chaos. But in this game, at this point in the franchise, he is that strong. As strong as Super Sonic was in that game, now. Which means, of course, that Super Sonic himself is stronger than he used to be also. But that's one of the quieter things about the franchise that I like. Is like the evolving power levels of the characters. Specifically Sonic in particular. Oop. And again, like, it always goes back to how I've always compared Sonic and Dragon Ball Z in my head. There we go. Where if you had, like, the characters of Dragon Ball Z fight villains that they had to deal with earlier in the series, after, like, later arcs, they would just completely demolish them. Like, in the Majin Buu saga, for example, regular Goku, like, just by himself Goku, is stronger than Super Saiyan Goku was at the end of the Namek saga when he fought Frieza. And that's been proven, where, like, Frieza has come back and just completely gets bodied by, like, regular characters who aren't even Super Saiyan. There's one, like, special, actually, where it's arguably not canon. What is? Where this villain, who's like a former Frieza henchman who's now just as strong as Frieza was at the end of the Namek saga, shows up, and they're like, oh, we gotta deal with this problem. And Goku actually goes, oh, he's only as strong as Frieza? Well, that's not gonna be fun. I don't want to waste my time fighting a weakling like that. Wouldn't even need to go Super Saiyan to fight someone on the power level that Frieza, like this arc world-destroying final boss threat. But where he is in the franchise at that point, he's completely outgrown him, and I talked about that a little bit, god damn you, in Sonic Heroes, is villains don't level up. Heroes level up. Like, Sonic now, like, Eggman's not even a threat to him anymore. Sonic hasn't needed to go Super Sonic to fight Eggman in decades. Literally decades. Sonic only needed to go Super Sonic to fight Chaos and Dark Gaia and other actual different world-destroying threats that were not Eggman, because Eggman isn't a threat to him anymore. Eggman is barely a threat to any of the other characters anymore. I love how you're drilling through water. I love that. I think if you go out of the water, yeah, you lose it. So shouldn't have done that. What would happen if I use laser underwater and get... Oh, shit. Tried to do boost. Didn't work out. Good thing, too, because there's fucking spikes in the water. Fuck that. Alright, so, like, these... Like, they're small, short levels, but they're kind of like... It's packed with different routes you could take. There's a lot of replayability to these levels. And again, you're meant to replay them in order to try and get that score attack aspect. Come on. So, like, you can imagine, since it's just Eggman in this game, he's not reviving goddamn everything. Some ancient monstrosity, Chaos, Dark Gaia style monstrosity. It's just Eggman. Minor spoiler, but Sonic's not going to need to go supersonic to deal with him. Because he doesn't need to go supersonic to deal with Eggman. Eggman is so not a threat to him anymore. That's what that kind of cracks me up. So, with all that being said, like, Sonic has continuously improved his physical abilities and his powers throughout the series. Listening to the PDA messages in the background. But Tails hasn't, because Tails doesn't bother trying to keep up with Sonic anymore. Because that ain't his bag. Like, that's not his thing. I always forget how you're supposed to deal with this fucking thing. Like, for some reason, I always have trouble with this guy. I'm gonna die to this guy frequently whenever he shows up. It's kind of weird. I forget what you're supposed to do to deal with him. Like, you can't really outrun... What are you supposed to do with that guy? Anyway. Tails hasn't, because Tails doesn't bother trying to keep up with Sonic anymore, because he's doing his own thing now. Like, the last time he's really had any kind of canonical boost to his abilities was in Sonic Adventure 2, where we saw in the Chow Garden, when he's outside of his mech, he can fly eternally now. He doesn't really run out of stamina when it's just him anymore. When he's carrying other characters, maybe he'll still have stamina issues and get tired, but when it's just him flying regularly, then he can just fly eternally. But yeah, since then we haven't really seen him in the field anymore. So Tails hasn't moved. He hasn't gotten, physically speaking, he hasn't gotten stronger from where he was in Sonic Adventure, really. Where he fought Eggman, like, on his own in Station Square there. That's still basically where he's at. Still able to fight Eggman on his own. On his own terms, as a hero in his own right, not just a sidekick following Sonic around anymore. But after that, that's not, like, that wasn't a priority for him anymore. He stopped, like, improving himself in that regard. Because he realized that's not his style, that's Sonic's thing. Like, that's your thing. I'm gonna do my own thing. That I find fulfillment in and utility in being able to accomplish, and it's different. So he's, like, expanded his mind and his technical know-how. Like, he's the smart guy, gadgeteered character now. He was definitely not that character before. Like, the most he was... Oh, God. Like, the most he was ever characterized in that way in the old... in the Genesis games in particular, but even so far as into the adventure games... was he piloted the tornado and made planes sometimes, but like, even then, that seems like kinda a specialized interest, you could argue. Like, it was a peek into what his character would eventually evolve into. Yeah, but he was still kind of following in the speedster mold. Archetype. Like, it's divergent character evolution, where Sonic kept on running, kept getting faster, kept getting more powerful. Tails stopped running. Like, he stopped getting more physically proficient, and instead became like a super genius gadgeteer, technical know-how kind of character instead. And that is where his proficiency lies by contrast. Wow! I think that's the first S rank I've gotten. It might be one of the only ones I get. Once again, I'm very bad at getting the high ranks in this game. Like, I'm just not Like, that's never been something I've found fulfillment in when playing these games. I don't feel like driven to get an S rank in every level. I don't feel driven to get the red rings in every level, which is unfortunate, because they lock off some pretty vital content behind those red rings. But that's not, like, what I have fun doing in Sonic games. I'm not, like, of all of the games out there, Sonic is not the one that I feel like this urge to be a completionist with. I just like going through the levels, replaying my favorite ones maybe, and experiencing the story. I've never gotten all of the emblems in any Sonic game. To this day, I haven't unlocked Green Hill Zone in Sonic Adventure 2. That's just not something that I have fun with these games. I would rather just go through the levels normally, and then when the game's over, I'll replay the levels, or I'll start a new save file and go through the story again. To me, that's just how I get more enjoyment out of these games than in any kind, like Time Attack. Don't have any interest in that. And trying to like speed run it, don't have any interest in that. I just like going through it at my own pace and enjoying the narrative, whether it's one that I've partially constructed myself or that's it actually in the game in front of us. So, all that being said, like, Tails is a super smart guy now, but he's probably, like, if he were actually to go out in the field, he wouldn't be capable of much more than what he was doing in Sonic Adventure 1, where he could do the spin attack, he could fly around. On his own, he could fly around forever and have unlimited stamina in that regard. And you see that in cutscenes occasionally, to a degree. But, like, he can't keep up anymore because he's not trying. He doesn't want to. He hasn't trained himself to be able to do that the way Sonic's been continuously improving himself. So, if he tried to keep up, he wouldn't be able to. Because, like, unless Sonic slowed himself down considerably to allow him to keep up. But, like, Sonic has just gotten so much faster and so much more powerful that he kind of eclipses every other character. Arguably, the only one who can still kind of keep up with him is Shadow. But even then, even back in the day, you could very easily say that Shadow isn't as fast or as strong as Sonic was. Oh, I'm sure he, like, probably trains himself to try and better his abilities compared to Sonic's. Listen to that orchestra. I'm gonna die. Whew. I don't even know how that happened. So it's half, and I don't wanna, and half I couldn't, even if I did want to, right? But again, that's one of my favorite things about the series is it carries over, right? Like, Tails is still he's that's such a problem you have sometimes with, especially with long-running franchises like this. Is like maybe the first couple. Oh god, no one to blame but myself. I was warned. Like, it might take them a little while to find their footing, but after they establish a status quo, then they stay there. And characters aren't allowed to evolve or change or undergo development. Crab beats! Badniks. You can have prawns and badniks both. It's okay. Do both. There we go. Slam. Oh god. Fuck. No! You'll have like a status quo, but Sonic's never really done that. And you would think like the status quo would be Sonic 3 or so, or at least Sonic Adventure, where Tails is the sidekick, Sonic's the hero, he always fights Eggman. Like, any other franchise would follow, would stay in that formula. But Sonic Team with Sonic has always been happy to expand and change things up, and it sticks. God damn everything in the world. They never, like, pulled it back. Oh, God. They never, like, reset the clock and be like, nope. Tails' little epiphany at the end of Sonic Adventure 2 where he realized I can be a hero myself on my own terms and don't have to just follow living behind in Sonic's shadow anymore. No, fuck that, never mind. He's a kid sidekick. Gotta stick with the status quo. And the status quo is kid sidekick. So, have him be that again. And never allow any character to advance or change or develop in any way. No! Like, he hasn't changed since Sonic Adventure 2, but he doesn't, like, need to. Like Sonic, who from the beginning has always been the same kind of character that he was always been. Like, he's always been a static character. Some characters, like, do undergo character development, and then they stop because they've self-actualized. They have reached an equilibrium of, this is who that character is, and this is who they're always, like, they have achieved, like, fulfillment in their sense of identity and ability. This is who they are now. And, like, necessarily speaking, that's not exactly accurate to real life or anything like that, but whatever. Like, in terms of writing. Ah, look at these Mario 64 eels. In terms of writing, that's what you'll have happen. Like, a character undergoes development, and then they're done. Like, they have reached the pinnacle of what they're going to be as a character. And that's where Tails is at. He's found his place, he's achieved self-actualization, and now he's kind of done. Like, you're not gonna have another, like, epiphany about who he is and his station in life and what he can do and what path he should take through life. Like, he's all grown up now. He's on the same level as Sonic, just not physically. He's not as fast anymore.
Man! Running past all those fish put me in the mood for sushi. I doubt Eggman had the decency to put a good sushi joint in this park.
Remember, ladies and gentlemen,
I don't know, I feel like if you capture a water planet filled with fish, making a sushi restaurant is the first thing I would think of to do.
Ugh. Like I was saying.
That is a pretty funny joke, though.
Hey! Did somebody here order a clobbering? Are you sure? It says somebody ordered an extra large clobbering topped with everything. Okay. Tell you what, I can't take this thing back, so I'll give you an extra large clobbering for nothing. Hope you're hungry.
Oh, Sonic.